Hey, it's Tango Oscar Mike. We're out. It's Saturday. My days are all messed up. I wanted to come out earlier and do some stuff, but I had to do some electrical wiring in the house. Sweepstakes is coming. I do plan on participating. I was going to put up the hex beam, but we are actually predicted to have severe thunderstorms starting, I think, at 6 o'clock. So I wouldn't get much use out of it before, and it did rain last night. So this is like a mucky mess if they get into it. Ugh. So I'm probably not going to put the hex beam up tonight, but I might get up tomorrow morning, first thing tomorrow morning, and put it up and then be able to use it tomorrow. Tomorrow's not supposed to rain. So I still do my backwards over the air throw. It's the best way that I know. I'm going to go up over this branch here. Perfect. There it is. And that is up there. Fan-damn-tastic, as they say. Well, I hooked up my other antenna and I'm just checking the tune on it, and it is fantastic. Let's see. It like 14.2 or at 7.210, it's at like 1.1. And the whole way down to 130, let's go down to 7.100, it's 1.4. And all the way up to 7.300, it's 1.2. So this antenna is fine, tuned up great, no complaints. And this one still winds beautifully. I don't know what the difference is. I'm gonna have to like really sit down and analyze them and try to see what the difference between these two antennas is. I've used this one the most too. It's been beat around and beat up, and it just works so well. Maybe the tolerances are looser. Oh. And if you can't tell, I'm winding in. Sorry. God damn it. I'm winding in as I pull the line back up into the tree. So there's a lot of tension on this one. Actually, it was too much. A little hard. It's too much tension. There's the end anyhow. Yeah, so this one's solid. Hey, good morning. It's early Sunday morning. I didn't put my hex beam up yesterday for the November sweepstakes. I'm glad I didn't. We had severe storm come through. We had tornado warning. A little crazy. So I'm going to get the antenna set up so I can do some sweepstakes today. And we'll see how it goes. But yeah, it's 7:25. Got the pups fed. I was just waiting for it to get a little bit lighter. It's still pretty breezy, but it's not supposed to be too bad today. It's actually supposed to change. I think it's supposed to be a pretty nice day. A little chilly out, but I'm going to get the antenna set up. It is windy. I'm a little concerned now. I might have to wait a while. Well, I got the tripod level, but it is actually very breezy. I think I'm going to wait a while before I put the antenna up. See if it calms down a little bit. It just seems a little bit too breezy. My antenna wire is dancing in the air. I think I'm going to wait a little while. It's Monday, the day after the ARRL sweepstakes. It was too windy. I didn't feel comfortable putting up my antenna, my buddihex antenna. We still had pretty good high winds on Sunday, so I didn't put it up. and I just used my end-fed half wave. It's a 36-to-1 that we made with a club build, and I just used that. It's an inverted L, probably goes up, 20 feet and then slopes up into a tree. And actually it's sagging a little bit, but I use that. And I made a lot of contacts. Last year, I won the Atlantic Division, and I think there was only 2 other people in it besides me. And I only did it for about 4 hours last year and made, I don't know, 50 some contacts. I can't remember exactly. This year, and my score was 3,996. This year, we really didn't have any other plans, and I did put it on our calendars. My wife knew that I wanted to do this contest. I did it for a little bit Saturday night, but not very much. I think I made like 16 contacts, maybe less. And then Sunday, I made contacts during the morning. I made breakfast for me and my wife, got back on the air a little bit, and then at noon, we went outside for a little bit. I brought wood up to the house. The dogs got to run around and play a little bit. And then I came back in again. And at that point, I kind of was burned out. But after being outside and doing some other stuff around the house, I decided to get back on the air and made some more contacts, got more multipliers. I ended up with a really good score. So we'll see if I end up getting another award for the Atlantic Division. And my score was good as far as I'm concerned. I compete against myself, and I crushed my old score. Over 3 times what my old score was. But if you look at the top QRP person, I think his score last year was like 124,000 points, and I'm, I think less than 1/10 of that for the Atlantic Division. But I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. So I'm out here. I am looking at this 3D print to see if I can figure out what's going on. I did tighten, and I think what might be happening is the center section, that buffer I put in there, isn't quite tall enough. And when you tighten the screws, it pulls this lid part that I made down inside. And I think that may be the issue on this one. I think that part sticks out like the perfect height. And I don't think you can press it anymore. And this one just seems to be like butter when it comes to spinning. So that may be it. I may have to, do a couple more test prints and make that part wider. And I might have done that on this one, because this one feels pretty good. And I'm just going to put the screws in this one and see. So let me tip this down just a little bit so you can see a little bit more here. So it's probably backwards to me, but this is the parts that I printed out. It's the outer part. This is the inner part. This is the shell. And when this prints, when you do a 3D print for holes, the 3D printer can't print over a hole. So you have to have what's known as a support inside the 3D print. And these just break out when you're done and ready to use your print. Okay, that sounds pretty tight. So I think too, the plastic is wearing a little bit. I think that needs to be a little bit taller. I think it's rubbing too much, maybe. I don't know. But it started spinning, and the more I spin it, the harder it's getting. It's like the plastic is bonding to each other. Maybe it's heating up. I don't think that could be the case. Yeah, it's kind of doing the same thing that other one is doing, where it will spin and it won't. I know what you're thinking. Tom, this is taking so long. Just release the files. Just, get it done. So I think I you saw the issues I was having with this one. It wasn't winding properly. I was having trouble. Well, more prints. I did make, remember how thin this was? It was flexing too much. I did make another one, actually redesigned this one in a few minutes and printed it out, and I messed up one of the measurements on it, and the parts don't fit in it, and that was hosed. Only 4.5 hours of wasted time and materials. So I do have another print. This part was a little thin. I didn't like that, so I redesigned that so it's a bigger piece now. As you can see, nice and big and hefty. What else did I do? I loosened up the tolerances a little bit, so this spins a little bit inside here. I assembled it just to see if it would how it spins, but I haven't actually tried it yet. But with nothing on it, it actually spins really well. This one spins well with nothing on it too, but you can tell that it's concave where things are pulling together. So this one, you can't tighten this one too much. As much as you tighten it down, it's not going to compress anymore. The way it's built, nothing should, So we'll see. So I'm going to, and I'm probably going to kick myself for this, but I was so confident that this was it, that this couple of items was causing the issue, that I printed enough that I can go back and fix this reel. So that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to fix this reel. And this one didn't tune quite right, so I do want to check and make sure there isn't a lot of space in here, make sure nothing's touching something else, and make sure I'll have to get out my Nano V&A and do some measurements and make sure that that is working the way I want it to. So I'm going to do that, and damn. I think this inner sleeve needs to be a little bit thicker to prevent this from rubbing so much on the outside. That's all I can think of. I mean, I've played with it a little bit now, and I think that is what's causing the issue. I think it's putting too much force on the outer edge, especially when you're winding. So I'm going to go print one of those and increase it. This one was short. I mean, that one was even taller. Hey, it's Tank Oscar Mike, and it's another day here trying to figure out this antenna and spool issue. And as you can see, I've been busy. Look at all these prints. Look at all these prints. But I think I got it figured out. This is the spool that was jamming up, and I was having all kinds of trouble with it the other day. And now it free spools. I do need to put my little piece of string on here so I can hook it onto something. Do I have? Ooh, I still have some left over. So I'm going to do that. I already have a line up in a tree. I'm going to put this antenna up, check it, because I resoldered the connectors a different way. So hopefully I'm getting the right tune on this, and I'm going to tune this up. And I have enough parts to build another one. If this one works, I want to unwind it and wind it in a few times. But let me get this going, and then we'll turn the camera back on. I'll let you know where it's tuning. Well, that was short-lived. The antenna unwound perfectly, and it wound up again perfectly. But there's something wrong with the solder. I have no connectivity. I'm not getting any readings. So I've taken this apart and put it back together so many times. I probably have a broken solder joint or something like that. So I'm going to try to fix that real quick and go from there. I mean, that's soldered, but there's probably, I see it, my ground desoldered or something. So it might be a quick fix, but let me fix it and we'll see. So that antenna is all tuned up. It's not as good a tune as I want, but it is tuned up. And it's winding and unwinding perfectly. So now I am putting this one together. I'm not going to lie, getting everything to fit in here is kind of a pain in the ass. Okay, so the great news is that the winding mechanism is working fantastic. And this is over 65 feet of 24 gauge DX engineering wire, and it fits on there with room to spare, no issues. So plenty big enough for that. There is a little bit of slop in the reel, but you do have to have that. When I take that out of there, I run into all kinds of problems. I've wound and unwound both of these multiple times with no issues. It comes out really fast and goes back in just as fast. Even when I'm pulling my throw line back through the tree with the winder, I'm able to wind it up really quickly. Neither one of these is tuning great. This one tunes fantastic on 20 and 40. I mean, it's dead on, works great. These two are a little off, so I'm going to have to open these up and count, make sure I didn't mess up my windings. Maybe I have one too many windings or one too few windings, but I believe everything's right. But I think I'm going to crack this one open, take a look, and verify that with these ones. But other than that, it is working great. The winder mechanism is fantastic. This is really good. This is bourbon cream with coffee, Black Rifle coffee, and coffee liqueur in it as well. My wife made that for me. It's really good. Okay, I must have been drinking when I wound the toroids, because I wound it 2x24, and it should be 3 primary turns, 22 secondary tones, so a total of 24. So 3 and 22, 3 primary turns, 22 secondary turns. That's how I did this one, and it's tuning perfectly. So I'm gonna set the camera down. Actually, I have it on this little tripod. It's a little bit taller, and I'm going to wind it up. So I'm going to loosen my cable, my tie down rope. So my throw line is loose, but it's still up in a tree. Disconnect my coax, unhook it from my tie down point here. And so when I'm winding this in, I'm going to be winding it in and pulling my line back up through the tree. And this is right around 65 feet, of course. It does get some tension on it towards the end there, because I'm pulling my line, like I said, back up in the tree. So this one is solid. I am happy about that. And again, it comes out like crazy. So if somebody wants this antenna, $300. Well, this one's fixed as well. It's all tuned up, flat across the board on 20 meters and on 40 meters. I mean, it's a perfect tune. I couldn't ask for anything better. It's like 1-to-1, like right in the middle of the band on 40 meters, and it's just a little bit off on 20 meters, but it's perfect. I would use this antenna all day long. These are QRP, probably only good for 12 watts. Now I've untied my throw line here, but it is still up in the tree, and I'm going to wind this one in. This is the second antenna that I've made today with the changes I've made in the winder. And again, there's a lot of tension on this right now, and I'm still able to wind it. Now, if there's no tension, I mean, my line's way up in a tree. It's obviously a lot easier if there's not this much tension. But even with this much tension, it's winding. That's a lot of tension. But it's still winding. Yeah, it's just too much. It blew over in a little other tree there. There's the end. You can even see as I pull this down, it's going back up just because of the wind. But this antenna is done. So I'm pretty confident that I could release these files and get them out to everybody. Like I said, this is using the FT8243, 3 primary turns and 22 secondary turns, and it's a 150 PF capacitor between the ground and the end of your primary turn. But yeah, and it works. Finally, after all this time, I'm happy. I'm happy with the screws that I'm using. I'm happy with the new crank handle. I haven't broken one, and I'm putting a lot of tension winding the string down from there. I'm sure if you drop it, you could break the handle off. These screws, like I said, they're number 6 by 5/8, I believe. You could probably go a little bit longer. There's still room, but I think that's the perfect size. It fits through the holes on the top cover and on the cover underneath, so it only screws into that back piece. You can't over tighten it. You can put it together as much as you want. It is a little tricky to build, but it works, and I'm happy. Now I guess this is the big one. This is the big daddy. This is the FT140 with 125 feet or so of 24 gauge wire. This one jams up when it winds, but as you can see, there's no play in this one at all. It doesn't wiggle, doesn't do anything. This one, there's a little bit of play, and that kind of was the key, is to give it just a little bit of play so it doesn't bind up and can, work just fine. This one, I'll have to take this apart. Probably have to print a couple new pieces. I can just tell already. I need to make this centerpiece a little bit taller. I really don't want to make this shell much thicker. It'll take forever to print. I think right now this shell, 6 hours or something like that on my printer. But I know what adjustments to make, so I probably make myself one. But yeah, I can't even pull this out because you can't. It just jams up really bad. So I'm going to have to get this wire off of there. Let me get a winder. But I'll try to get some instructions, and you can build your own. Like I said, they're a little bit tricky. Again, I really don't want to get into the business of selling these things. My printer's too slow. It'll take me forever to print. So if somebody really wants me to build one, you're going to have to make me a really good offer to build one of these. Like I said, it takes me almost all day, 24 hours to print this. And yeah, I'm actually out of parts. I don't have any more toroids. I'm probably going to order some more though off of Amazon, get some more of the toroids so I can build a couple more. I like to have a couple in my different go bags. I keep a kit in my truck that I want to be able to grab the antenna out of there. And I think this is the perfect antenna for doing that. It doesn't take up any room. I don't have to worry about it unwinding if it jiggles around a lot. or the elastic breaks and you open up your bin and the wires everywhere. That happened to me. But yeah, so, well, man, I hope you guys have enjoyed this process. I know you're probably tired of waiting, but hopefully you can, I can get these out to you and you can print your own QRP 20-watt reel that you can wind up. And I'm not blasting my call sign all over the thing or whatever. Make it your own. Do whatever you want with it, and hopefully it works out for everybody. Again, the 24 gauge DX engineering wire, you can fit enough. You can fit the 65 feet you need for 40 meters on this. That's it. I've been outside most of the day, hanging out here for quite a few hours, playing with this and figuring it out. And it's been weeks of me printing. You saw some of the prints I had in a bin, and I actually have more wasted prints. I actually need to get some more material, but I'm excited. You don't have to have this little loop of string on here. For me, it just makes it easier to hang it and pull the wire out when you're doing that. I thought about making a plastic loop into the print, and I tried a test print and I really hated it. So just a little piece of cord on the opposite side, the wire comes out, works fine. You could even clip this on your belt and walk away and have it unspool. So, but yep, that's it. Hey, this is Tango Oscar Mike saying 73. Take care. Hey, one last thing. If you feel like you want to support or make a donation, I'll put a link to my PayPal account down below. You don't have to, but if somebody, I know people sometimes do get the urge to support somebody and send them some, if you build one of these and you like it and you feel like, hey, that's worth it, if you want to send me $1 through PayPal or something like that, I appreciate it. I'll put a link down below. I'll get this out as soon as I can.